There's a quiet power in the way a Stoic moves through the world, an unmistakable presence that doesn't rely on force or theatrics to be felt. Think of the people you respect most deeply. Chances are they aren't the loudest in the room, nor the ones clamoring for attention. They're the ones who remain steady when others panic, who listen more than they speak, who act with principle even when no one is watching. This is the Stoic path to respect, not chasing it, but embodying it. The ancient Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire with humility, to Epictetus, who taught as a freed slave, knew that respect isn't seized, it's cultivated. It grows from the soil of unshakable character, not the shifting sands of external validation. In a world obsessed with image and instant gratification, Stoicism offers a counterintuitive truth: the less you demand respect, the more effortlessly it finds you. But how? How does a Stoic build this kind of unassailable dignity? It starts with understanding that respect isn't about controlling others' perceptions. It's about mastering your own actions, reactions, and intentions. It's about embracing discomfort, practicing silence when others gossip, standing firm in your values when the crowd wavers. In this video, we'll dissect the pillars of Stoic respect, not as a checklist, but as a way of being. You'll learn why resilience earns more admiration than charm, why humility outshines arrogance, and how to turn every interaction, every challenge, into an opportunity to strengthen the kind of character that commands respect without saying a word. This isn't about manipulation or performance. It's about transformation. So let's begin. Part 1. Respect begins within. The path to earning genuine respect from others does not begin with grand gestures or carefully crafted images. It begins in the quiet spaces of self-examination, in the moments when you choose discipline over convenience, principle over popularity, and integrity over reward. The Stoics understood that respect is not something you can extract from the world through force or persuasion. It is something that grows naturally from the soil of self-mastery, a quality that can only be cultivated through relentless honesty and unwavering commitment to your own moral development. Consider the person who constantly seeks approval, who adjusts their opinions to match the crowd, who compromises their values for temporary advantage. Such a person may gain fleeting admiration, but never lasting respect. The difference lies in where they place their sense of worth. If your self-esteem depends on external validation, praise, titles, social media likes, then you have already surrendered your power. You have made yourself a slave to the opinions of others, and no one respects a slave. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher, emperor who ruled Rome at the height of its power, wrote in his private journal, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This is the paradox that traps so many. We claim to value ourselves, yet we outsource our self-worth to people whose standards we don't even respect. The Stoic solution is radical but simple. Judge yourself by your own measure. This is not about arrogance or self-delusion. It is about developing an inner compass so reliable that you no longer need constant reassurance from the outside world. When Epictetus, a former slave who became one of Rome's most influential teachers, said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," he was outlining the foundation of self-respect. You must decide clearly and consciously what kind of person you intend to be. Then you must act accordingly, regardless of whether anyone notices or applauds. The practice of self-respect manifests in the way you handle failure, the way you speak about others behind their backs, the way you keep promises to yourself even when no one else would know if you broke them. It reveals itself in your ability to remain calm under pressure rather than lashing out in frustration, in your willingness to admit mistakes rather than shifting blame, in your refusal to compromise your standards simply because others have lowered theirs. There is a quiet dignity in the person who does not need to announce their virtues because their actions speak clearly enough. People may not always understand why they respect such a person, but they will feel it. They will sense the absence of desperation, the lack of neediness, the solidity of character that comes from having faced and overcome their own weaknesses. This is why the Stoics placed such emphasis on self-examination. Each evening, they would review their actions, not to punish themselves for imperfections, but to reinforce their commitment to growth. They understood that self-respect is not a destination but a practice, a daily realignment of behavior with principle. The more consistently you do this, the more your inner stability becomes visible to the outside world. The beautiful paradox of Stoic self-respect is this: the less you chase external validation, the more you attract genuine regard. When you stop performing for applause and start living by conviction, people begin to respond not to what you're trying to project, but to what you actually are. They may not always like you. Stoicism never promises popularity, but they will recognize your substance. And in a world of posturing and pretense, that recognition is the foundation of true respect. Before we explore how this inner fortitude translates into outward respect, let us sit with this question: where in your life have you been seeking validation instead of building character? Where have you compromised your standards for the sake of approval? The answers will point you toward the work that must be done, not so others will respect you, but so you can finally respect yourself. Part 2. The discipline of action. Respect is not given to words, no matter how eloquent. It is earned through action, through the visible alignment of behavior with belief. The Stoics understood this fundamental truth: what you do echoes far louder than what you say. A person may craft the most compelling speeches about integrity, but if they falter when tested, their words become meaningless. This is why Stoicism places such emphasis on the discipline of action, the consistent practice of translating philosophy into lived experience. Consider the difference between two leaders, one who speaks passionately about courage, but avoids difficult decisions, and another who remains silent on their virtues yet faces challenges without flinching. Which commands more respect? History remembers not the philosophers who theorized about justice, but those who embodied it, figures like Cato the Younger, who chose death over compromising his principles, or Seneca, who faced his execution with the same calm he advocated in his writings. The Stoic path to respect through action begins with a simple but demanding principle: let your deeds speak before your mouth does. Marcus Aurelius demonstrated this daily as emperor. He could have used his position to demand obedience, yet he led by example, waking before dawn to fulfill his duties, judging cases with impartiality, denying himself luxuries his status could easily afford. His subjects didn't respect him because he told them to. They respected him because they saw him living the virtues he believed in, even when it cost him personally. This discipline manifests in three crucial ways. First, consistency between private and public behavior. Many people maintain a facade of respectability in public while cutting corners in private. The Stoic rejects this division. For them, integrity isn't a performance, it's a way of being. Epictetus challenged his students: if you wish to be good, first believe that you are bad. This seems counterintuitive until we realize he was exposing the hypocrisy of those who claim virtue without examining their actions. True respect grows when people witness the same character in your private dealings as in your public persona. Second, action over explanation. Modern culture encourages us to narrate our intentions before executing them, to announce our workouts before doing them, as the saying goes. The Stoic alternative is refreshingly direct. Act first, let results speak. When faced with a challenge, don't proclaim how you'll overcome it, simply overcome it. When wrong, don't lecture about forgiveness, just forgive. This creates a powerful contrast in a world full of talk and little follow-through. Third, embracing discomfort as proof of conviction. Anyone can claim values when it's convenient. Respect comes to those who uphold them when it's difficult. The Stoics trained to welcome hardship through voluntary discomfort, cold showers, simple meals, rigorous exercise, not as masochism, but as preparation for moments when living their principles would require sacrifice. When others see you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, respect follows naturally. A practical exercise from Stoic practice illustrates this beautifully: the Resistance Journal. Each evening, record one instance where you acted against your better judgment for comfort or approval, and one where you held firm despite pressure. Over time, this builds what the ancients called prohairesis, a will aligned with virtue that others can't help but notice. The profound truth here is that respect isn't about perception management, it's about character manifestation. When Cicero said, "The authority of those who teach often hinders those who want to learn," he hinted at this dynamic. The most respected figures aren't those who demand attention, but those whose actions compel it. They understand what Seneca meant when he wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Except for Stoics, the preparation is moral, and the opportunity is every moment to demonstrate it. As we move forward, carry this question: where in your life are you explaining rather than doing? Where is there a gap between what you believe and how you behave? Closing these gaps is where true respect begins, not from others first, but from yourself, which, as we've seen, is the only foundation that lasts. Part 3. The Power of Equanimity. The world tests us constantly with frustrations, provocations, and unexpected setbacks. In these moments, most people reveal their fragility. They crumble under pressure, lash out in anger, or fold under stress. But the Stoic, they reveal their strength, not through dramatic displays of force, but through something far more compelling: unshakable composure. This is where respect separates itself from mere admiration. People may admire talent or success, but they respect character under fire. Think of the last time you saw someone remain calm while others panicked, or gracious while being attacked. Didn't their stature grow in your eyes? This is the Stoic secret. Emotional mastery is the silent language of leadership. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayals, wars, and plagues during his reign. Yet his writings reveal no hysterics, no self-pity, only steady determination. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he reminded himself. Realize this, and you will find strength. This wasn't empty philosophy, it was the operating system of a man who knew that losing control meant losing respect. When his general Avidius Cassius rebelled, Marcus didn't rage. He calmly ensured stability, then pardoned the conspirators after Cassius' death. The empire saw this restraint and respected him more for it. Modern psychology confirms what the Stoics knew: we judge people's competence by their emotional control. A Harvard study found that leaders who maintain composure under stress are perceived as 53% more capable than their more reactive peers. But the Stoic approach goes deeper than perception management. It's about fundamental rewiring of response. Practice the View from above. Technique, when provoked. Imagine watching the situation from mountaintop perspective, your petty quarrel, a speck in time, the rude colleague, a fleeting presence in your lifespan. This spatial and temporal zoom out, practiced by Stoics like Seneca, dissolves most emotional hijackings before they begin. The discipline works because it targets our emotional signaling, the unconscious cues that dictate how others perceive us. Flared nostrils, darting eyes, trembling hands, these all broadcast instability. Contrast this with the Stoic ideal: steady gaze, measured speech, relaxed posture. These signal that no external event controls your inner state. Consider the 2-hour rule, adapted from Epictetus. When angered, mandate a 2-hour waiting period before response. Most provocations won't survive the delay. The ones that do, you'll address them with reason, not emotion. This single practice builds a reputation for thoughtfulness that mere intelligence never could. But true Stoic composure isn't suppression, it's transcendence. When Seneca's enemies falsely accused him and Nero ordered his death, his wife begged him to fight. His response, washing his wrists to demonstrate how little he feared the blade. His final act was dictating corrections to his manuscripts. This ultimate display of equanimity turned his execution into his most enduring lesson. Your challenge isn't death sentences, but daily irritations. The coworker taking credit for your work, the reckless driver cutting you off, the relative pushing your buttons. Each is an opportunity to practice what the Stoics called apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from destructive passions. Start small. Next time you're interrupted, notice the urge to react, then choose stillness. When criticized, feel the defensive surge, then respond with curiosity. These micro moments of mastery compound into a presence that commands respect without demanding it. Because here's the paradox: the less you're rattled by others, the more they respect your boundaries. The less you need to assert dominance, the more influence you wield. As Marcus wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In other words, the ultimate power move is refusing to be pulled down to their level. This emotional sovereignty creates a magnetic effect. People sense your centeredness and unconsciously elevate you in their estimation. They may not understand why they trust your judgment more, defer to your opinion sooner, or assume your competence faster, but you'll know. It's the quiet dividend of Stoic equanimity. Part 4. The strength of silence. In a world that equates loudness with leadership and constant commentary with intelligence, the Stoic practice of strategic silence stands as a radical act of strength. This is not the silence of timidity, but the deliberate restraint of someone who understands that true power often lies in what remains unsaid. History remembers Cato the Younger not for his speeches, but for his piercing silences in the Roman Senate. When pressured to engage in petty political battles, he often responded with nothing more than a steady gaze. This refusal to participate in meaningless conflict didn't diminish his influence, it amplified it. When he finally chose to speak, the entire chamber leaned in to listen. Marcus Aurelius captured this principle in his private writings. Ask yourself constantly, to what purpose am I speaking? The Stoics measured words not by their quantity, but by their necessity. Before giving voice to a thought, they would consider, does this need to be said? Does it serve truth? Does it improve the situation? If not, they practiced what Epictetus called the discipline of assent, keeping silent as an exercise in self-mastery. Modern psychology confirms the wisdom of this approach. Studies show that people who listen more than they speak are consistently perceived as more competent and trustworthy. But the Stoic value of silence goes beyond social strategy. It creates space for deeper understanding. When we stop preparing our next argument and truly listen, we gain insight into others' motivations and character. The discipline of silence also protects against one of the greatest threats to respect: reckless speech. How many reputations have been damaged by words spoken in anger or haste? Seneca warned that speech is like medicine. The right dose can heal, but too much becomes poison. The person who weighs their words carefully avoids toxicity, projecting instead the quiet confidence that comes from self-control. In our noisy world, the ability to remain thoughtfully silent becomes a superpower. It allows us to respond rather than react, to choose our battles wisely, and to project the unshakable composure that commands respect. As we'll explore next, this quality becomes especially powerful when combined with the Stoic approach to adversity, the ultimate test of character. Consider this: where in your life might strategic silence serve you better than speech? What relationships or situations would improve if you practiced listening more and speaking less? In the economy of respect, sometimes the most valuable currency is the word you choose not to say. Part 5. The discipline of perception. True respect is not given to those who merely avoid hardship, but to those who meet it with unshaken clarity. The Stoic approach to obstacles reveals a fundamental truth. What separates the respected from the overlooked is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of perspective. While most people see difficulties as misfortunes to lament, the Stoic sees them as opportunities to demonstrate the very qualities that command respect: resilience, creativity, and unwavering principle. Consider the Roman general Scipio Africanus facing Hannibal's war elephants, a terrifying and unfamiliar force on the battlefield. Where others might have panicked or cursed their misfortune, Scipio studied the beasts, recognized their sensitivity to noise, and ordered his troops to blast horns to unsettle them. This was not luck, but perception honed by discipline. His men did not merely obey him, they followed with conviction, because he had shown them how to transform what appeared to be an insurmountable threat into a manageable challenge. His leadership earned not just loyalty, but deep respect. Marcus Aurelius captured this mindset in 4 simple but profound words: "The obstacle is the way." This is not a motivational platitude, but a radical reframing of adversity. The Stoic does not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What does this make possible?" When others complain about unfairness, the Stoic assesses. When others despair, the Stoic adapts. This shift in perception does more than steady the mind. It shapes how the world perceives you. People instinctively respect those who meet difficulty not with fragility, but with fortitude. Epictetus, who endured slavery before becoming one of Rome's most revered philosophers, taught that circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. This is why the Stoics trained themselves to view every setback as material for growth. A difficult colleague is not merely an annoyance, but a test of patience. A failed venture is not just a loss, but a lesson in refinement. Even betrayal, painful as it is, becomes a masterclass in discernment. The person who consistently meets life's inevitable challenges this way does not go unnoticed. Their calm in chaos, their poise under pressure, marks them as someone worthy of respect. Modern psychology now confirms what the Stoics practiced. Studies show that individuals who view stress as enhancing rather than debilitating not only perform better under pressure, but also inspire greater confidence in those around them. This is not blind optimism, but perceptual discipline. The leader who remains composed when plans unravel, the colleague who responds to criticism with curiosity rather than defensiveness, These are the people who quietly earn the highest regard. To cultivate this mindset, the Stoics employed a simple but powerful tool: deliberate reframing. When faced with a frustration, they asked, "How can this serve me?" Not as denial, but as a conscious choice to seek agency where others see only helplessness. This practice builds what psychologists call cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt thinking in the face of change, a hallmark of emotional intelligence and leadership. The reward for this discipline is a reputation as someone unshaken by turbulence. People may not articulate why they trust your judgment more, but they will feel it. When you consistently meet obstacles with resolve rather than resentment, problems with solutions rather than complaints, you become someone others instinctively look to in uncertainty. As we turn to the Stoic approach to power and influence, consider this: what current challenge in your life might be an opportunity in disguise? How could shifting your perception of it alter not just your experience, but the way others perceive your strength? Remember, the obstacle is not in your way, it is the way to earning respect. Part 6. The Paradox of Power. True authority reveals itself not in commands issued, but in voluntary followership earned. The Stoic approach to power contains a profound paradox. Those who seek to dominate others ultimately diminish their own influence, while those who focus on self-mastery find others naturally drawn to their leadership. This is the difference between authority imposed and respect inspired, between ruling through fear and leading through example. Marcus Aurelius embodied this principle daily as emperor. He could have relied on imperial decrees to demand obedience, yet his private journals reveal a man more concerned with governing his own impulses than controlling his subjects. "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself," he wrote, a maxim that transformed his reign. History remembers him not as a tyrant who compelled submission, but as a philosopher, king who earned devotion. His power grew not from what he took from others, but from what he demanded of himself. This approach creates a magnetic effect in modern contexts as well. Consider two managers, one who micromanages every detail, the other who sets clear standards through personal excellence. The first may secure compliance through fear, but the second inspires commitment through respect. Employees don't follow the disciplined leader because they have to, they follow because they want to. This is the essence of Stoic influence, making yourself someone worth emulating rather than someone to be obeyed. Epictetus, though born a slave, understood power's true nature better than most rulers. No man is free who is not master of himself. His teaching reveals the core truth: real authority begins with self-command. The executive who loses their temper in meetings, the parent who can't control their own habits while demanding discipline from children, these are figures whose power erodes with each hypocritical act. But the person who demonstrates the standards they expect, their quiet consistency builds a foundation of trust no title could confer. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, cold showers, fasting, or other deliberate hardships was never about masochism. It was training for leadership's inevitable tests. When others see you choose the harder path willingly, they perceive a strength that doesn't require external validation. This explains why figures like Theodore Roosevelt, an avowed Stoic practitioner, could lead rough-riding cowboys and Ivy League intellectuals alike, not through force of position, but through force of proven character. Modern research validates this ancient wisdom. Studies on quiet leadership show that professionals who combine high standards with personal humility achieve 30% higher team performance than their more authoritarian counterparts. Their secret: understanding what the Stoics knew: people commit to what they help create, not what they're forced to endure. The practical application is straightforward but challenging. Become the standard before setting the standard. If you want a team that's resilient, demonstrate resilience in your own work. If you value punctuality, never be late yourself. This creates what psychologists call social proof, the phenomenon where people model the behavior of those they respect. Your actions become permission slips for others' excellence. Here lies power's great irony. The less you need to assert control, the more influence you wield. The less you demand respect, the more freely it's given. As we'll explore next, this principle extends to how Stoics handle criticism and opposition, not as threats to their authority, but as opportunities to strengthen it. Reflect on this. Where in your life are you trying to lead through position rather than example? What single personal discipline, if mastered, would make others naturally follow your lead? Remember, the most enduring power isn't taken, it's earned, and the Stoic earns it by being worthy first. Respect is not taken, nor is it given lightly. It is earned through the quiet consistency of character. Over the course of our discussion, we've uncovered the pillars of Stoic respect: self-mastery before seeking external validation, action over empty words, composure in chaos, strategic silence, the reframing of obstacles, and leading through example rather than force. These are not tricks or shortcuts, but principles forged in the fires of discipline. The Stoics understood something modern society often forgets: respect cannot be demanded, only deserved. It does not come from titles, wealth, or social maneuvering, but from the daily practice of virtue, showing up with integrity, especially when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his private writings reveal a man more concerned with his own moral progress than his imperial power. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that true freedom and influence come only to those who first govern themselves. As you move forward, carry this question: am I becoming someone I myself would respect? Not for accomplishments or accolades, but for the strength of character in moments of challenge, the fairness in dealings when advantage could be taken, the grace in victory, and the dignity in defeat. The world will test you with frustrations, with injustices, with people who mistake kindness for weakness. But remember, a Stoic does not react, a Stoic responds. And in that space between what happens and how you choose to meet it, respect is either earned or lost. So go forward with this understanding. Respect is not your destination, it is the natural result of the journey toward wisdom. The more you focus on living by principle rather than chasing approval, the more you'll find it follows you effortlessly. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this video helpful. If it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a positive reminder. Remember, personal growth is a journey that takes time, so don't forget to subscribe for daily updates to strengthen your mindset day by day. Also, please check out our next video and playlist for more insights. Until next time, stay strong, stay calm, and stay stoic.